The train hurtled through the night, a silver serpent against the inky blackness. Inside, the air was thick with tension. The mystery of the murdered passenger had cast a long shadow over everyone, but now the final pieces were falling into place. I stood before the remaining passengers, my gaze sweeping over their anxious faces. A wealthy businessman, a nervous young actress, a quiet old professor, and the ever-present train steward. Each had a reason to be a suspect, yet none of their stories fully held up under scrutiny. I cleared my throat. For the last 12 hours, we've been trapped on this train, not just by the storm outside, but by a web of lies and misdirection. We've looked at motives, greed, jealousy, revenge. We've examined alibis, timetables, and misplaced items. But we've been looking in the wrong direction. We've been so focused on who had a reason to commit the crime, we overlooked the person who had the opportunity to do it flawlessly. I turned my attention away from the seated passengers. The killer isn't one of you. The killer is someone who can move through this train without suspicion, someone who knows its layout intimately, every creak of the floorboards, every hidden corner, someone who can access any cabin with a master key, and whose presence wouldn't raise an eyebrow at any hour. All eyes followed my gaze. I walked slowly towards the end of the carriage, where the steward stood, polishing a glass with a practiced, steady hand. He looked up, his expression a mask of professional calm. "Sir, is there something you need?" "Yes," I replied, my voice steady. "I need you to explain how your fingerprints ended up on the inside of the victim is locked safe, a safe that was supposedly only opened after his death by the conductor." The steward's hand froze. The clinking of the glass stopped. A collective gasp rippled through the carriage. The businessman sputtered, "But he's just the steward. He's been serving us drinks all night." "Precisely," I said. He served the victim his final drink, a drink laced with a fast-acting sedative, not a poison, just enough to render him unconscious. The steward then used his master key to enter the cabin. He wasn't planning to kill him, not initially. He just wanted what was in the safe. We found records showing the steward was in deep financial trouble, debts he couldn't possibly repay on his salary. He knew the victim was carrying a fortune in bonds. I continued, painting the picture for everyone. He opened the safe, took the bonds, and was about to leave. But then, the unexpected happened. The victim started to wake up, groggy but conscious enough to see the steward's face. In that moment, a simple robbery turned into something far more sinister. He panicked. He grabbed the nearest heavy object, a crystal decanter, and silenced the only witness. He then wiped down what he thought was everything he touched, locked the cabin from the outside, and went back to his duties, hiding in plain sight. The steward's calm facade finally shattered. The glass slipped from his fingers, shattering on the floor. "It's a lie. You have no proof," he stammered, his eyes wide with fear. "Oh, but I do," I said calmly. "You were so careful, weren't you? You wore gloves to handle the decanter. You wiped the door handle. But in your haste, you forgot one crucial detail. When you opened the safe, you had to steady yourself. You placed your bare hand on the inside mesuris of the safe door for just a second. A single, perfect fingerprint. A mistake that sealed your fate." The steward lunged for the emergency exit, but it was too late. The conductor and another staff member, alerted just moments before, were there to block his path. The game was over. As the train finally pulled into the station, the flashing lights of police cars painting the windows blue and red, a sense of quiet relief settled over the carriage. The storm outside had passed, and so had the storm within. Justice, like the train, had finally reached its destination. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this mystery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next case. See you soon.